Good morning. The time is 8:07. Currently fair skies 6 below zero in downtown Wausau. It is Wednesday, February the 4th of 2026. I am Chad Holmes. It is the Wednesday edition of the Chad Holmes Show here on 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices, and Alexa by searching WXCO on the Civic Media app. Also on YouTube at youtube.com and the 98.9 WXCO channel. Coming up this morning, we will be again paying a visit to, some young people, because we yesterday were talking about the upcoming production of Sweeta's Shrek the Musical, which is going on Thursday through Sunday this week and Thursday through Sunday next week. But also this weekend, the Central Wisconsin Children's Theater will be hosting their production of The Lady Pirates of Captain Bree. That will be coming up this weekend at the University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point at Wausau at the Vega Theater. And 4 different opportunities, I believe, between Friday and Sunday, 2 shows on Saturday. And we will find out a bit more about this production with some cast members this morning at 8:35. So that's something to look forward to here later on this morning. Across the way, it's our in-studio engineer, Ian Welsh. Ian, good morning.
Good morning, Chad.
I'm all stuffed up today. Very stuffed up. I mean, all night long, I'm trying to get rid of this stuffiness and this little bit of a cold that I have picked up over the last couple of days. So I may sound like I'm a little deeper today than I normally would be, but we will be able to fly on through. Otherwise, I mean, I'm stuffed up. Don't feel bad otherwise, but bad. It kind of affects the voice a little bit, which is not a good thing when you're on the radio.
No, it can be a challenge. And it's that time of the year again,
I think it's because I've been spending too much time in ice arenas. Been doing a lot of hockey and being in the cold and generally the weather being cold. I've been traveling around and being out and about. And
right.
I just think it's a natural thing and things go around at this time of the year. But just have to, plow through it. If it gets too bad, then I'll have to take a step back. But at this point, nothing overly serious. So again, I'll just sound a little bit deeper here and try to use the nasal mist to try to clear that up, but otherwise we will go right on through. We would like you to join us at 715-814-9330. Is that right?
Yep.
I should have this down by now, but 715-814-9330. Because we would like you to talk a little bit more here this morning, be able to talk about what's going on in the news, anything that's going on in your lives, anything that is going on here in Central Wisconsin. We would like to know about it as we get to the midway point of this week, Wednesday, Hump Day, heading downhill towards the weekend. And, of course, Wednesdays also means the big high school sports show. And that will be tonight from 6 till 8 p.m. This time around, BJ Brand will be off and about today His daughters are playing for the Central Wisconsin Storm, and they have a makeup game tonight
Mhm.
up in Superior. So he's going all the way to Superior for that game. So he won't be with us. But I do have in our bullpen ready to come in my longtime co-host, Newman Catholic High School boys basketball coach Jeff Gress, who'll sit in with me, talk about what is going on in winter high school sports, plus our special guest. Our coach guest will be Matt Lindsay, the head boys basketball coach of Bozeman High School. He'll be with us at 6:30 tonight, and then at 7:06 tonight, Drew Wolfel, senior for the outstanding Marathon High School boys basketball team. So again, special guest, a lot of high school sports talk from 6 till 8 p.m. tonight, the big high school sports show, right here on 98.9 WXCO. Does that mean you have to miss a rehearsal tonight?
Well, actually, last week I didn't have to be at rehearsal until like after 8 o'clock. So after the sports show last week, I was able to go to rehearsal and catch up on what I missed. So
Oh,
hmm,
is that the plan tonight?
I think so, but I have to double check the schedule. I will have to make sure I'm actually needed there because if I don't have to be there, I don't have to rush over there as soon as the sports show is over.
Ah,
So I will check the schedule and just verify that.
you had a rehearsal last night?
I did. Yep. Continuing to work on the music and the big group numbers. It's really coming along. Everybody's putting in the work, and it's definitely showing. So,
Are you planning on seeing either of the shows that we're talking about this week?
well, I really do want to see Sweet as Shrek the Musical. I don't know if I'll be able to see the Lady Pirates one though. Oh, because this weekend will be gonna be pretty busy for me. So I'm gonna see if I can work out a time to do it. But I definitely want to be sure I get my tickets for Sweeta. But I'm hoping I can do Children's Theater also. I just have to double check my schedule and see if I can find a time to do it.
I will give a suggestion, and you can take it or leave it, because the Sweden production of Shrek the Musical
Yeah,
is 2 weekends.
that is a good point.
It is both Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at 7 p.m. and Sunday at 1:30 at the Wausau West High School Auditorium. But if you don't get there this week, you can do it again next weekend, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at 7 p.m. And then the matinee at 1:30 on Sunday. So there you go. Maybe that's something to think about. You got to
Yeah,
put together your schedule. I know you're a busy guy. You got your jobs and you got everything that you're involved in. So put that
that's one of
into.
the nice things about having a show over 2 weekends is they're able to spread it out more. So I will definitely keep that suggestion in mind.
I like to give good suggestions.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Exactly. See, I'm good for a few things here, not just introducing you every morning. I can give you some suggestions and make sure everything is going okay. But yeah, so absolutely. So again, we talked about this so very often. We are so very fortunate when we have so many different groups. We have so many different folks that are involved. I mean,
Yeah.
you can start right with the Grand Theater. We always get an opportunity to talk to Sean Wright about some of the great shows they bring in, Broadway level shows, and real just incredible talent that comes right here to downtown Wausau. But then, of course, we have the independent groups, and it's multiple independent groups. I mean, you've worked with River and Woods. We're going to be talking to Central Wisconsin Children's Theater. We talked to the Central Wisconsin Education Theater Alliance, of course, the Wausau Community Theater. And
Yep.
am I missing any independent groups out there?
Oh,
I don't know.
let's see.
And then, of course, you got the high school groups that put on productions in the fall and the spring.
Yeah.
So, again, it
So
really
many
is,
opportunities to see wonderful theatrical productions.
because so often they get bogged down into the things that are not right in the world, not right in the
Yeah.
area, not right, uh, and and yes, it's always great to be able to try to find answers, to be able to make things better generally, to be able to put your energies towards good things in life and try to make things better and to let your voice be heard, but also to have the opportunity for leisure activities. And that's one thing that, again, we have here in this area. And I was actually talking about this when I went on with Greg Bach a couple of days ago on Monday. He, of course, does the mid morning show, which is from 9 until 11
Hmm.
here on 98.9 WXCO. I was with him in the first half hour of the 10 o'clock hour on Monday. And we were talking about things that are going on here in Wausau, both in terms of the news and politics, but also just in general in terms of activities and the arts and everything else going on. And I was saying that we are very fortunate that we have a lot of the kinds of activities that you could get probably in bigger cities.
Yeah.
And yet you don't lose that, I think, smaller city feel that you don't have to go to Madison or Milwaukee or Minneapolis or even Green Bay to see Broadway level entertainment
You
because
can
we
if you want to.
of course we can. Yes, but you don't have to. You can go to the Grand Theater because they always have their Broadway series during
Yeah.
their season and be able to see that level of entertainment. You don't have to go many miles to find world class skiing because we have the largest hill in the state of Wisconsin right in our
Oh yeah.
backyard with Granite Peak.
You certainly do.
So, and then despite the fact that we have this outstanding activity that you would think maybe would be more apropos to a bigger community. No, we still have a lot of the, I would say, the niceties of being in a smaller community. So, again, I just think that we are very fortunate. And no matter what your interest is, I think you'll be able to find it around here.
I would agree with that. You definitely have a variety of interests and a variety of different activities going on. There really is something for everybody.
Yep, exactly right. And not only, and the thing that I think is very important as well, not only as a spectator or a viewer, but to be involved. And I think that's
Oh
one
yeah.
thing that people need to do, I think, a little bit more of. I bet you there's a lot of things people think, I want to do this, I want to do that, but there's always a reason not to do it. And I will admit that in my own life, there's that comes up from time to time that, oh, I should do this or I should do that, but no, I can't do it for this reason, can't do it for that reason. No, you got to stop thinking that way. And especially if you do live in this part of the world, to be able to just say, hey, I'm going to put my toe in the water, or
Yeah.
in even better circumstances, put both feet and jump in hard into the water because, again, there are so many different opportunities. But also, the spectator aspect isn't a bad thing as well. And I've said as well, I
No,
mean,
I
it
mean it's
just
nice
goes,
to be a part of theater, but it's also nice to just watch a show from time to time and be in the audience and really take in the talent that other people showcase around our community because there really is a wide a variety of talent from all different ages, all different levels of experience, and it all comes together and just makes incredible shows. It really does.
yep, you're exactly right. We got to take a quick time out. The sun is shining, some fair skies.
Still
Two
cold.
2 degrees below zero, but fortunately, uh, it's not windy. It's actually calm out there, so
Oh,
no wind chill factor to speak of.
thank goodness.
We'll be right back. Time is 8:19. Chad Holmes Show 98.9 WXCO. Only the young Chad Holmes Show. Not quite as young as I used to be, but we're getting plenty of the young this week. Yesterday, with the cast members from Sweden. Today, I should say, the cast members from the Central Wisconsin Children's Theater, and of course, we have more young tonight with the big high school sports show. So, if it's true that if you hang around the young, you stay young, I think we will be in that boat between you and me.
I like to believe that.
And by the way, I was talking about the great activities we have here in Central Wisconsin. Of course, the Olympics get underway this weekend. The opening ceremonies
yes.
are on Friday in Italy, and here in our area, we have that wonderful curling center, the Wausau Curling Club, and a lot of people are involved in it. And in fact, there is a Paralympic curler. I should say a curler that'll be in the Paralympics.
Okay.
And the Paralympics are part of the Olympics, basically. I mean, they're connected with the Olympics.
Awesome.
And Matt Toombs is his name. And Jim Force from the Wausau Curling Club had reached out to me and said that Matt will be headed to Italy for the Paralympics in early March. Also, Ella Wendling will be going to Denmark late in February for the Junior Women's World Championships. And I think we should be able to get a chance to talk to at least Matt and maybe both of them next Wednesday. We are trying to put the final touches on this. And again, great opportunity to be able to go to Europe and to be able to represent our country and also our area. To say that Wausau is a wonderful curling hub within our country. So
it's a huge honor.
Yeah. So we're hoping to have, at the very least, Matt Toombs join us next Wednesday to talk about his trip to Italy to participate in curling in the Paralympics. So again, if you have Olympic dreams, you can actually make them come true here in Central Wisconsin.
Wow.
If you were able to participate in one event in the Olympics and you had the ability.
If I had the ability.
If you had the ability, which event would you want to be part of?
Oh, boy. Honestly, I would probably like to do the swimming back and forth across the pool, because I've never been a strong swimmer, but if I had the ability to actually, swim like they do, I could definitely be a good competitor.
There you go. So you would be the next Michael Phelps, or if you really want to go back, the next Mark Spitz.
Oh yeah.
I'm just curious. Do you know who Mark Spitz is? Because sometimes generational people. Do you have any idea?
I can't say I do, unfortunately.
Yeah, he was one of the great swimmers. Was a record swimmer from the 1972 Olympics. Won an incredible amount of gold medals and was known as the best for a very long time. And then a lot of his, I think, records were broken by Michael Phelps in the later years. I think a lot of folks can remember Michael Phelps, but it's always interesting to think that people that become maybe the greatest Olympic performers ever, maybe this time around, within 50 years or 75 years, many people say, who's that? I can't remember that person. So no, it's always interesting that that's why I think history is important. I think it's not just because we talk often about the history where it's a case of trying not to make the same mistakes over and over again, because if you don't know your history, as you say, you're doomed to repeat it. But at the same time, I think it's important for us to remember the great accomplishments of many people that there's always a sense that, and if you read anything on the many websites for different topics, they'll say, well, so-and-so is the greatest ever. The person that's the best at it right now. Well, these people that write that often have no idea who the greatest ever were 50 years ago or 75 years ago or 100 years ago. In many cases, the technology changes. So the whole idea of trying to compare generations can be very, very difficult. But at the same time, I just think sometimes I love history myself. So it's one of those cases where I want people to really put their arms around the history of what's going on and not worry about saying the best person now is the GOAT,
Mm.
as they say, the greatest of all time. So that's just my little 2 cents when it comes to the debates on who is the best ever or who may not be the best ever. So
No, I mean all history is important, whether you're talking about well, very long ago history or a recent history. It deserves to be talked about because a good or bad, a recent or long ago, all history is very important, and it's important that we learn from that history.
yep, exactly right. Well,
And not
coming
only
up,
can we avoid repeating it, but we can also learn from it and give inspiration to future generations and nations, and you know create role models for the kids of tomorrow.
absolutely. Well, coming up next, we are going to talk to members of the cast from the Central Wisconsin Children's Theater. And of course, they have their big show coming up, The Lady Pirates of Captain Bree, starting on Friday. So that's coming up after an information update. Chad Holmes Show 98.9 WXCO. And welcome back, Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO. Online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices, and Alexa by searching WXCO. On the Civic Media app and also on YouTube at youtube.com and the 98.9 WXCO channel. Of course, we are on from 8 till 10 each and every weekday morning, 8 till 9, live on WXCO, 9 till 10, online only on YouTube and also on our website and the app as well. And of course, at the end of the show, you can get, after 10 o'clock, the 2 hours put together, nice one package as a podcast. If you subscribe on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts, or by going to our website, WXCO.FM or civicmedia.us. With Ian Welsh, I am Chad Holmes, and I know that Ian Welsh is always very happy when we bring in folks from the world of theater, because he is our master thespian here in our studio. And of course, yesterday we had a chance to talk to some cast members from Sweden, and today we get an opportunity to talk to some cast members from the Central Wisconsin Children's Theater, which are performing The Lady Pirates of Captain Bree this Friday at 7 p.m., Saturday at 2 and 7 p.m., and Sunday at 1 p.m. at the University of Wisconsin at Stevens Point, Wausau campus, and the Venega Theater. And we're very happy to welcome around the table our director and also three cast members. Madeline Fleece, Mason Cooper, Maddie Tatro, and the director, Suzanne Stoltze. And all of you, thank you for coming and welcome.
Thank you.
And again, I'm going to remind you all to get close to that microphone when you do
Immediately.
talk. Because we want to make sure everybody hears you. The Lady Pirates of Captain Bree. I'm going to start with the director because I think you probably could answer this the cleanest. Maybe a thumbnail sketch. What is this show?
The show is basically just a fun adventure on the ocean with a bunch of pirates and their captives. So it's a merchant ship that gets taken over by pirates who are looking for treasure. There is no treasure on the ship. So there's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of missed communications, running around, chases, sword fights. It's a lot of chaos and it's a lot of fun.
How many people are in the cast, and what is the age range?
We have 39, and our age range is the youngest we have some 9-year-olds, and then all the way up to 17.
You're pointing across the table here. Let's talk to our actors. Let's start with the namesake for the show, the Captain Bree, Madeline Fleece. Madeline, first of all, what grade are you in? Where do you go to school?
So I am a junior at Wausau West.
And how long have you been involved in the theater?
Yeah, think about that. About 7 years, I want to say.
So you've been around the block a couple of times.
Yes, sir.
Talk about this show. What is maybe the challenge of your role, and maybe the best part of your role?
The first thing that comes to mind when I think of a challenge is Captain Bree is not a comic relief character. And that is the first note I got, the first rehearsal from Suzanne. She goes, "Are you playing comic relief?" And she says, "No." And I say no. So I play a lot of comic relief roles. I've been on for Enchanted Bookshop, Princess What's Her Name. I do a lot of that. And it's hard to find how to be the straight man in a comic relief show. It's been really fun, though. I can feel myself getting like more comfortable. Like my sword is an extension of my body at this rate. It feels just wonderful.
Have you been the lead in previous productions?
I have had big roles, but I've never been the namesake, as you called it.
Is there a certain level of excitement for this kind of role?
Yes.
Just the big smile says it all right there. We'll get more of that coming up. Let's talk to our other cast members as well. Mason Cooper plays Captain Jennings. Mason, where do you go to school? And again, what grade are you in?
Same as Madeline Fleece over here. I am a junior going to Wausau West High School.
Captain Jennings. Tell us about Captain Jennings.
Captain Jennings, sort of like Captain Bree, is not a comic relief character as much as I wish he was. He is, in fact, if I have to say, one of the most serious characters on the show, which is a bit of a contrast to my actual character in real life, if you ask any of my colleagues here.
Let me jump in real fast. Is that fun for you to play? Maybe something that is different than maybe your core person at this point?
It is definitely a challenge, but it is a blast to be playing as Captain Jennings. For he gets to do a bunch of exciting things on stage. He gets to have a bunch of moments where he's like, in my opinion, he's trying to like do as much as he can to try and keep the lives of who he cares about safe, while also just trying to make sure that he stays calm and under pressure.
How many productions have you been involved in? How old were you the first time you were in a show?
The first time I was ever in a show was my freshman year, so I'd have to say like about 2 years ago is when I started theater.
So not that long, really.
Not that long in retrospect.
How much of a difference in your performance do you feel now that you've had a little experience? Do you feel like you've improved a lot as a performer over the last couple of years?
Absolutely. I've had a big spurt of growth from going from like a little ensemble guy to going up all the way to like one of the leads of a production.
Very good. And Maddie Tatro, Madam Prescott. Maddie, first of all, how old are you and where do you go to school?
I am a sophomore at DC Everest.
Oh, very good. I was hoping it wasn't all B3 Wausau West. Because I thought, it'd be way too easy to haul 3 kids from Wausau West out of school and come over here for this morning. But
no, I'm proud to represent DC Everest.
Very, very good. And Madam Prescott, tell us a little bit about that character.
So she is a British ambassador's wife who is very set in her ways. She refuses to look at things from other people's perspective most of the time. She likes to get on Captain Jennings quite a bit for allowing these pirates to take over the ship.
Is she comic relief? The first two made a point to say they're not comic relief.
Well,
got my piqued here, my interest a little bit.
It depends on how you look at comic relief. If she can be more of a upfront character that people can hate, or she can be more of a comic relief character who's like making more drama come into the show.
How old were you the first time you hit the stage, and about how many shows you've been involved with?
I was 7 years old when I got into my first show. And I've been doing this for about 8 years now. This is my 23rd show.
Oh, wow, very, very impressive. Suzanne, in terms of the director for this show, what has been the biggest challenge for you in terms of trying to put this production together?
Oh, several.
Oh no.
We had a very short timeline to put this together because we started right after Thanksgiving and we had a 2-week break in there because of the holidays. And then, so basically we've had 4 weeks to really try to put this all together. So that the timeline itself was challenging, especially with the weather and illnesses and people missing here and there. So this week has really been fun for us to really see the show for the first time, like all together. So it's that this was my first time directing a musical. I had not directed a musical before. So that in itself was a huge challenge to find that balance of working with my vocal director, Latanya Sala, and my choreographer, Noelle Lang, who are both amazing, to put together a show that I feel gives these kids the best opportunity to show what they can do.
Is directing a musical almost like directing 2 shows at once?
Kind of, yes.
'Cause
It is.
You have the musical aspects, and then you have the
You do.
non-musical
You're
aspects.
managing like 2 different things. So now, again, luckily I have a amazing choreographer and vocal director that I can kind of hand that part off to, and they are doing so well with the kids. The choreography in this show is intense and the songs are so much fun. It's just a really enjoyable show.
Directing a lot of kids.
Mhm.
I mean, have you, in your directing experiences, you said you had not directed a musical. Had you mostly directed adults? Have you directed a lot of kids shows?
No, I actually have. I've done a lot of youth theater. I started in youth theater when I was 9 years old, so that's how I got started in theater in my hometown, and went all the way up. I've got my bachelor's in theater, and I when I started directing, I did it in the youth theater in my hometown. So on my summers off from college, I would direct the youth theater in my hometown.
Uh,
And it was just so fun, and I enjoy it so much. I prefer it. It's a lot. The cast size is larger than the cast sizes I had, so that was also very challenging. It's about double the cast size of shows I had done, but I think everybody's working so hard,
hmm.
and really the passion and the enthusiasm that the kids have for it. It's just fun to watch.
Let me ask each of the cast members. I like to find out what maybe moment, it could be a song, it could be anything else, is your favorite part of the show for you and your character. Madeline, is there a moment in this show that you find that you look forward to most as you go through it?
The whole show is just amazing. I think if I had to pick one part, it would be the duet I have with Captain Jennings. It's called "Oh My Captain." I don't want to say anything to spoil it, but it's a very heartfelt, sweet moment in the sea of chaos that is the Lady Pirates of Captain Bree.
Mason, what about you? Do you have a moment or a part of the show that you most look forward to?
If I had to say a moment that I am looking forward to the most, is honestly the same as Captain Bree. That duet is just, out of the entire show and kind of the pace it's been hitting, it's really just kind of, if I had to describe it, a punch in the gut from like the change of pace that you feel when you listen to it. And I just am excited to, when I finally, or we finish the show and we get to see the audience, I'm just excited to see the reactions to that singular moment.
And Maddie, what about you? Do you have a favorite moment that you're looking forward to in the show?
So I guess my favorite moment is when I have my song called Lady of Sensibility. It is something I have been working on for quite some time now, and I just got it down yesterday, so I know the entire thing now, and I'm really proud of myself for that. It took forever.
I gotta say, is there a little pressure because you open on Friday and you guys got it down yesterday?
Well, there's not that much pressure because I've been practicing outside of it, and I feel like I have it all down now. I know the choreography, and I feel like overall this show is going to be one of the ones to remember.
And real quickly, Suzanne, we have a break in about 45 seconds. Do you have a favorite moment of the show?
I have several, but I love their duet is amazing. All of the songs in this show will get stuck in your head. And there's a chase scene in this show that is hilarious. And our set is huge and beautiful. There's 8 entrances and exits to it. So people are going all over the place. I agree. It's going to be one of the memorable shows I think that CWCT does.
Can you hang on for a few more minutes? We got a short break. If we have a hard break in the radio business, it means we have it right at 49 after, but we'll come back in 3 minutes and then come back and give you some ticket information. And I want to actually ask you about Central Wisconsin Children's Theater in case people want to learn more. So that's coming up here on WXCO. And welcome back. Chad Holmes with you here on 98.9 WXCO, WXCO.FM, mobile devices, and Alexa by searching WXCO on the Civic Media app and on YouTube, youtube.com, and the 98.9 WXCO channel. We are talking to Suzanne Stolze, who is the director, Madeline Fleece, Mason Cooper, and Maddie Tatro, all cast members of the Lady Pirates of Captain Bree, which is being performed by the Central Wisconsin Children's Theater Friday at 7, Saturday at 2 and 7, Sunday at 1 at the University of Wisconsin at Stevens Point, Wausau campus, and the Venega Theater at the Center for at the Venega Theater. my mind got some holes in it this morning. But I wanted to ask Suzanne, because maybe there are folks out there who are not as familiar with the CWCT and may have kids who have an interest in theater. Can you tell us a little bit about what the Central Wisconsin Community Theater is and how many shows do you do a year, and maybe some background information?
Yes, the Central Wisconsin Children's Theater has actually been around for a very long time. And we do primarily, our shows are geared toward youth performers so that they have the opportunity to be on stage and just really get into this craft from a very young age. We do 4 shows a year. Usually we do a Thanksgiving show, and then we do a show in this time slot, which is February. We have an April show, and then we have a June show. We hold auditions, we cast it, we run rehearsals. And the best thing that comes out of coming and seeing one of our shows is the number of kids who get to see it and say, I want to do that. I want to do that. And we have camps that we offer through the summer for people to get a little taste of. We have opportunities for every age range and every experience level to just dip your toe in and see how much you love it.
We were talking off air in the break. Maddie, you said something interesting. We're going to bring it up because I think it was Mason who said you should have saved it for being on the air. So we're gonna bring it on the air here.
So, something special about this show is this is a show that kids are performing that adults could also perform. I feel like we are coming up to the standards of this being an adult show for the kids that are in it. Everyone has put in so much work that I feel like we are at a very high level as to what we are doing right now. And I know for a fact we will definitely get better.
And for Madeline and Mason, could you add to that? Are you using any acting talents in this show maybe that you haven't used in other shows? Is there something about this show that is taking your skills maybe to another level?
Yeah, me personally, one thing I did not expect to the fight scene specifically, we have a couple of them in there, not to spoil too much, but to actually go on and to learn about proper sword techniques and learning what they would use back in the day to try and do, it's really interesting.
I wish I knew what the stage directions were here. I see so many pointing. And Madeline, anything you'd like to add?
I think a lot of my acting challenge is once again not slipping into my comfortable comic relief setting. I think Bree's main motive is to be a mother / big sister / protector to all of her pirates. And I think as the show goes on, she becomes more and more desperate to protect them. Not to spoil, but she's very desperate, very emotional. And I haven't had a lot of experience with that. So that's been really fun.
Well, I got to say that I think maybe you may have talked me into going to this production over the weekend because it does sound very, very intriguing. Again, 4 chances, Friday at 7, Saturday at 2 and 7, Sunday at 1. Suzanne, is there a best way to get tickets? Can you get tickets at the door? Should you have to
Absolutely, yes. You can either get tickets online at cwct.booktix.com, or we are selling them at the door as well. So if you want to make sure you get a certain seat, you can buy them ahead of time, or you can just show up and come into the fun. It's it's going to be a really great experience for kids, for adults. It's just something fun to do. And I know we're talking a lot about how intense the show is, and it is. It is a comedy. It is hilarious. The show is so funny. And I think adults are going to enjoy it. Kids are going to enjoy it. Teenagers are going to enjoy it. We're going to have some fun concessions and photo booths out in our lobby area, some swords and eye patches for the kids. It's just it's about experience. We want to give people a fun experience, and that's what this is.
Fantastic. And again, we will put links on our podcast page. So if you go to our podcast page afterwards and you want to listen to the entire show again, we'll have the links to the Central Wisconsin Children's Theater and also the ticket link as well for you to be able to get those tickets early and head over to the University of Wisconsin at Stevens Point Wausau campus in the Venega Theater. Again, Friday at 7, Saturday at 2 and 7, Sunday at 1 to see this really, I think, intriguing show. It really sounds like a lot of fun. The Lady Pirates of Captain Bree. So again, Suzanne Stolze, thank you very much. And the cast members, Madeline Fleece, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Also, Mason Cooper, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And Maddie Tatro, thank you very much as well.
Thank you.
So again, get over there, take advantage, as we talk about so very often. So many wonderful opportunities to see our talent here in North Central Wisconsin and to see some really, I think, intriguing theater. I think this sounds like right down that alley. The Lady Pirates of Captain Bree coming up this weekend from Central Wisconsin Children's Theater. Well, that's going to wrap up our number one of the program. Of course, that means after this, we will shift over online only. We'll continue on YouTube at youtube.com and the 98.9 WXCO channel. You can also tune in at WXCO.FM and on the Sports 2 stream, our alternate stream, and also on the Civic Media app and the 98.9 WXCO tab. Just click on that and Sports 2 as well. So we'll be back at 9:06 for hour number 2 of the show. Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO.
Love All I need is a TV show, that and the radio. Down on my luck again, down on my luck again. I can show you some of the people in my life. I can show you some of the people in my life. It's driving me mad. Just another way of passing the day. I get so lonely when she's not there.
And good morning once again, everyone, and welcome back. It is hour number 2 of the Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO Civic Media app. But I'm saying all that like we're on the radio. We're not on the radio here in hour number 2. Of course, hour number 1, that would all be true. But here in hour number 2, we are online only, which is great as well, because we do appreciate those of you who follow us over to our online hour. Here on YouTube, youtube.com, and the 98.9 WXCO channel. In fact, I realized as you started the music that, I didn't set up to get our audio onto our Sports 2 stream for the WXCO.FM and the Civic Media app, WXCO tab. So I ran over there, got that going, ran back here. 4 degrees above zero. We're warming up. It was below zero last hour. Now we're up to 4 above zero.
Yep, it's getting better.
Partly cloudy, a little bit of sunshine out there as well. So again, it is Wednesday morning, February the 4th of 2026. I am Chad Holmes. He is Ian Welsh. And Ian, this hour, that last hour, the first hour of the show today, I made a conscious decision that we were going to be as positive about things as possible, because it's so easy these days to look at the negative, to be looking at what's happening within our government and within our country and see some of the violence that's going on, and to sort of wallow in that too much. So I thought for the first hour of the show, we were going to talk about the positive things that are happening in central Wisconsin, and then, of course, finish off with the second half of the hour, talking to those very personable young people and the director. And you can see how excited they are for the show, The Lady Pirates of Captain Bree.
Absolutely.
You see I think the optimism that this comes from every pore of these young people, and that even when things are a little overcast, there is always that little bit of blue sky out there. And if you look hard enough for it, you'll find it. And I think we found that in the first hour.
That's how I like to think too. It's so easy to focus on the negative and all the bad stuff that's happening out there, but personally, I think it's even harder to be optimistic, but it's very much worth it, because if you can find the positives and just like, if you can find the positives even in the bad stuff, it shows how much you really care and how much you want to hope and you want to help your community. I think it really means a lot for people to be optimistic and focus on the positives, even when there's so much negativity out there. That's how I like to feel.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, even within some aspects of life, the news, politics, whatever you may want to umbrella you want to put it under, even within some of the what we call the negative aspects, you do see also rays of positivity. I think within all the negativity of what is happening in Minneapolis, the idea that people are stepping up. People are going out in cold temperatures to say, we believe in the good things of our country. We believe that we can be better. We believe that protest is American. That's a positive.
Yeah.
So I think you're right that sometimes within negativity, you can find something positive, something that ultimately leads to the kind of change that we are all striving for. And again, something that we go back to so very often. I think this is as good a time as any to try to strive for the ideal because being the 250th anniversary of our country,
Yeah.
thinking about what George Washington and the others who fought for independence went through in order to give us this more perfect union.
And it wasn't easy.
It was not easy. You think back to the stories of
America was
Valley
founded in the
Forge.
midst of chaos. I
Yep.
mean, there was a fighting and injustice and justice and oppression, and the people were struggling. And then it took a long time, but we were able to break away from England, and we were able to make our own country. And personally, I think we're still in the midst of making our country, and because and despite what other people will tell you, America is not perfect. You know, we've had a lot of struggles. We've had a lot of bad moments, but we've also had a lot of, positive and inspirational moments, and a lot of positive leaders who stepped up, challenged authority, and made mistakes, but ultimately did help to change our country little by little. Martin Luther King Jr., Abraham Lincoln, Rosa Parks, there's Jackie Robinson, just so many amazing heroes who helped to, keep our country moving in the right direction, even when the people were trying to keep it in the same spot. Because change is not easy, but change is always worth it, good or bad. Sometimes you need change in order to, learn and grow as a country. And that's what we're still doing right now, I
And
think.
sometimes you need to push, maybe push a little harder than is comfortable. And in fact, coming up a little bit later in this program, we're going to talk about an article that appeared in the Boston Review talking about moderation. And sometimes politicians, sometimes the media talks about the wonderfulness of bipartisanship and moderation. And in a time like this, moderation can be the death knell for our system and our country. So we're going to talk about that. So, but something else I want to point out, when you have a chance like yesterday and today to sit around a table, talk to young people, I would encourage anybody out there, if they have an opportunity, if they're as old as I am or older, and if they maybe, if they have had kids in their lives, maybe they've grown up, it's good to find some kids and talk to them.
Absolutely.
It's a good thing to just be around them, to feel a different kind of energy about what is possible and what's not possible. Because I always get the sense that a lot more is possible when you're around young people, that you just feel as though that their future is still so far in front of them. And sometimes I get into a bad space where I talk to people and I say, well, one of the things that makes me sad is that I feel as though the damage that's been done by MAGA and Trump and his people, I will not live to see the days that we fix all this, that there's so much that has to be fixed, that I'm not going to live that long because it's going to take a very long time to do that. But then you get a chance to sit with young people and you feel that possibility is the word. Everything, there's so much more that is possible. I think sometimes as you get older, there's a little bit of a cynicism that delves into what you're thinking or your dreams. It's like, oh, can that be possible? Yes, things can be possible. The impossible can be possible. And you feel that when you have I think if you look through the eyes of the people you're sitting around when they're younger, because they have their entire lives in front of them, they're going to be in just a few short years the leaders of this country, maybe able to take us on a more righteous path than we've had in recent years. So there is always that little bit of hope out there, that ability to think that things can get better, maybe get better a lot quicker than you may think otherwise.
Yeah.
I want to remind folks again, we would love to hear your thoughts about what's possible. Where your eyes are right now looking at our country. Do you find the same sense of hope when you listen to young people? 715-814-9330. That's 715-814-9330. We would love to hear from you. Join the conversation and be part of trying to find the solutions to our issues. And I think a lot of people, another thing that is very positive about what we've seen in recent weeks and months, is that people are not just giving up. They're not just saying, well, this is the way it is. There's nothing we can do. They're going out there. They are using their voices. They are not getting paid to be out there. But they are out there using what our founders gave us, and that is the right
To protest peacefully.
to let our voices be heard, to protest peacefully, to make the change that we want. So again, as we've seen the chaos that we are living in right now, and you said it, there was a chaos back in the 1770s. And what happened? It turned into something that is, and still, even despite what Donald Trump and his people are trying to do to it, is still the envy of so many people around the world. So again, what are your feelings as we get into our 250th birthday year? Again, let us know. 715-814-9330. Sometimes my mind freezes. 715-814-9330, because we do want you to be part of the show. We want you to call up Ian. Ian will then put you on the air, and we can talk about that as we continue here this morning.
That's right.
I want to remind folks that if you enjoy hearing young people, you got another chance coming up tonight. We have the Big High School Sports Show.
Yes.
Every Wednesday from 6 till 8 p.m. We get an opportunity to speak to a student athlete, a long form interview. And often is the first time that these young people have an opportunity to sit down for a long form interview. And it's always interesting to see them sometimes come in a little nervous, but then warm up as the conversation continues, and be able to learn a little bit about their sport, a little bit about their school, about their classes, about their friends, their teammates, and everything else going on. So tonight, our student athlete guest will be Drew Wolfel. He is a senior multi-sport athlete at Marathon High School. So Drew Wolfel will be joining us at 7:06 this evening. And at 6:30, Matt Lindsay, the head boys basketball coach of Mosinee High School, he'll be joining us as well. So he'll be at 6:30. So from 6 till 8 p.m., Big High School Sports Show, 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices, and Alexa by searching WXCO, Civic Media app, and on YouTube, youtube.com, and the 98.9 WXCO channel. Real quickly, just an update on the weather forecast for today. We're going to be heading towards, I think, warmer temperatures for today. Mostly sunny, a high near 23 degrees, which is pretty much the normal for this time of year. And making it feel even better is calm winds starting off. It will become west-northwest around 6 miles per hour in the afternoon. Tonight, a 40% chance of snow after 3 a.m., increasing clouds, a low around 8 degrees. Calm wind becoming southwest 5 to 7 miles per hour after midnight. Thursday, a 50% chance of snow before noon, otherwise mostly cloudy and a high near 32 degrees. Thursday night, a 40% chance of snow after midnight, otherwise mostly cloudy, a low of 27. And on Friday, mostly cloudy, becoming sunny and a high near 33 degrees. And I feel downright balmy, 33 degrees on Friday.
Oh, yeah.
The time is 9:20. We're going to take a quick time out and then come back with more Chad Holmes Show live on YouTube, youtube.com, and the 98.9 WXCO channel, WXCO.FM, also the Civic Media app, Sports 2 stream. I'm Chad Holmes. Join former Wausau West head hockey coach BJ Brandt and myself every Wednesday night from 6 till 8 p.m. for the Big High School Sports Show on 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO on the Civic Media app, and also broadcasting live on the 98.9 WXCO YouTube channel. Each week we'll be talking high school winter sports. We'll review and preview the basketball and hockey action with both the boys and the girls, and each week we'll also be joined by an area head coach and a student athlete guest as well. It's the Big High School Sports Show every Wednesday night from 6 till 8 p.m. on Central Wisconsin's radio home for high school sports, 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO on the Civic Media app, and broadcasting live on YouTube.com and the 98.9 WXCO channel.
Local radio thrives when it serves the community. WXCO is no different, and we're looking to add someone to our staff that is well connected around town. Someone who can help our local businesses increase traffic and their visibility among our audience. From connecting clients with high school sports, local news and weather, or the Chad Holmes Show. If you know local business owners, we'd like to get to know you. If you'd like to know more about this opportunity, send me, Chad Holmes, a message at chad.holmes@civicmedia.us. That's chad.holmes@civicmedia.us. And let's set up a time to talk.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Wisconsin. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the WIAA and the Wisconsin Athletic Directors Association.
If you want me, you can find me left of center off of the strip. In the outskirts and in the fringes, in the corner out of the grip. If you want me, you can find me left of center off of the strip. In the outskirts and in the fringes, in the corner out of the grip. When they ask me, what are you looking at? I always answer, nothing much, not much. I think they know that I'm looking at them. I think they think I must be out of touch, but I'm only in the outskirts and in the fringes, on the edge and off the avenue. And if you want me, you can find me left of center, wondering about you. I think that somehow, somewhere inside of us, we must be similar, if not the same. So I continue to be wanting you left of center against the grain. And if you want me, you can find me left of center off of the strip.
And welcome back, Chad Holmes with you here on 98.9 WXCO, and actually the second hour live online, WXCO.FM, Civic Media app, Sports 2 stream, and also on YouTube.com, and the 98.9 WXCO channel, along with Ian Welsh. And I might sound like a broken record sometimes, but again, this newsletter I get gives me so much great information. It just makes me, I feel a lot better as a American because I read some really good stuff from a baseball newsletter. Craig Calcaterra is a baseball guy. But if you're not a baseball guy, you can just go past the baseball stuff. He always starts with the baseball stuff. And then he goes on to some things that he has seen when it comes to what is happening in the country and in the world. And there's some really interesting things that I would not have otherwise seen. And in this morning's Cup of Coffee newsletter with Craig Calcaterra, he talks about San Diego Padres signing a baseball player. Many people probably don't care about that. Talks about other little baseball notes in the offseason. But then he gets down to business with some, again, interesting stories. One of which is one that I just find very intriguing these days because how to win elections is vitally important because you can talk and talk and talk and talk. And unless you start winning some elections it's going to be very difficult to get things done that you want to get done.
Hmm.
And how do you win elections? And for many, many years, it's always this talk about how Democrats have to be more moderate. Democrats have to go to the center.
Hmm.
And I say to people, it's like, why don't Republicans ever have to go to the center? We have right now a Republican Party that I would say you could argue very credibly is so far out of the mainstream, very far from the mainstream.
That's an understatement.
And yet they've been able to win with one of the most out of the mainstream candidates you'll ever see, named Donald J. Trump.
Yeah.
They're
that's
never
true.
asked to moderate. Back in the aftermath of the 2012 election, where Barack Obama defeated Mitt Romney, the Republicans did what they called an autopsy.
Oh,
No,
Oh,
that's a good thing. I mean, they want to
oh,
they want to figure out what went wrong. Anybody who loses an election should do that. They want to figure out, why did we lose? What do we need to do differently in order to win?
okay.
So it's not a bad thing.
All right.
And the Republican Party said, hey, we got to reach out to more minority voters. Minority voters don't look at us as being an ally. We need to be better with Hispanic voters and black voters. And they had all this information that you thought, hey, this is what they're going to try to use in 2016. But when it came to 2016, all that went right into the garbage pail because they put Donald Trump as the standard bearer for their party. And ever since that point in 2016, it has been Donald Trump's party. We're now 2026. It's been a decade of the Republican Party being based on the whims of one guy. It's not about a platform of ideas. It's not about being moderate or not moderate. It's all about whatever Donald Trump wakes up thinking that day. It used to be that the Republican Party was a party that was one that thought, hey, we have to pass tort reform. There are too many frivolous lawsuits. But now Donald Trump puts out all these lawsuits, so that's not important anymore.
Yeah.
It used to be, we don't want to get entangled in foreign wars after the troubles that George W. Bush had. Well, now if Donald Trump wants to go to Venezuela, hey, we're all for it. There is no center of gravity anymore with the Republican Party except the whims of Donald J. Trump. But going back to what the Democrats should do, in this article, the Boston Review, and it's, I want to read the start of the article. Then everybody, if they go to bostonreview.net, they'll be able to find the entirety of the article. But it kind of, I think, lays a good foundation for what they're going to talk about the rest of the article.
Okay.
Starts off, in 2024, democracy was on the ballot. That, at any rate, was the popular slogan, to which there was a popular response. Democrats must moderate. Moderation was the key to winning elections, it was said, and winning elections was the only way to turn back the existential threat to democracy. If you watched on election night, expecting Kamala Harris's appeals to moderates would pay off, only to see them fall short, you weren't alone. Political consultants bet heavily on the same calculation. Harris distanced herself from progressive positions, including some she herself had previously supported, emphasized kitchen table issues, and courted Liz Cheney. She lost anyway. But the idea that moderation is the path to victory, and thus to preserving democracy, remains a firm conviction among many political commentators and consultants. The New York Times editorial board recently declared that moving to the center is the way to win. Dismissing research that finds otherwise is lost in statistical complexities. As prominent pundit Matthew Iglesias wrote in early 2025, what the Democrats need is not just more moderate candidates. They need a more moderate ideology. Or in political scientist Ree Teixeira's words from 2022, moderation equals Democratic votes. On this view, the primary reason the Democrats are losing is that voters perceive the National Party as too extreme, embracing policy positions or activist groups on issues that too many people see as too far from the mainstream, from policing and climate change to immigration and transgender rights. And Harris's efforts to repair those perceptions. We're too little, too late. So that is the foundation that this article is laying, that all these voices from the mainstream media,
Okay.
academia, political consultants talk about moderation. But there are those who are dissenting voices. Of course, Zoran Mandami, who recently won the mayor position in New York City, warned against bowing at the altar of caution in his victory speech in November.
Oh, good analogy there.
But the Times, Iglesias, and Teixeira are hardly alone in preaching at the altar of moderation. And that's the beginning. And then the rest of the article sort of breaks that down completely, away from it.
Okay.
And the point I want to make here, number one, read the article. I think you'll learn a lot. Number two, as Craig Calcaterra talks about as well, and I think I've talked about, the idea that the problem right now for many of us who want to save democracy, who want to see those on the MAGA right who are tearing down brick by brick our democratic system, is a party that fights more, fights back.
Yeah.
But political moderation is not just held by certain pundits, certain political consultants, but also held by people such as Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries, the Democratic leaders in the Senate and the House, respectively. So we have this tug of war going on, that the Schumers of the world preaching moderation, and I think many of the most energetic voices of the Democratic Party urging less moderation. And there's some points I want to make, but we are at the bottom of the hour, so we need to take a news update, come back, and then I want to delve into this, because ultimately, whether the Democrats are able to win in 2026 or not may come down to which vision wins out. Is it the moderate or those who want to break the chains of moderation? So we're going to talk about that coming up. And again, if you have ideas on it, 715-814-9330. 715-814-9330. Isabella has a news update, and then we're back. Chad Holmes Show, WXCO.
And then they showed me a world where I could be so dependable or clinical.
For WXCO News, I'm Isabella Nieto. Wausau's city calendar has a new home. The city announced Monday that they will now list all public notices of meetings of the city council, committees, boards, and commissions on the city meeting calendar on Civic Plus. The calendar that previously held meeting notices is transitioning to a community notice calendar called the Community Calendar. City Clerk Caitlin Bernardi said in a statement, "We are excited to provide another way to communicate with residents on what is going on in their city. You can find both a link to the Civic Plus City Meeting Calendar and the Community Calendar on the city's Community Calendar webpage." Gas prices continue to drop across Wisconsin. According to Gas Buddy, the state average is down 5.2 cents from last week, averaging $2.49 a gallon. Patrick DeHaan, head of petroleum analysis at Gas Buddy, said while oil prices jumped to their highest level in months amid geopolitical tensions, a weakening U.S. dollar, and supply concerns, the national average price of gasoline saw little change compared to a week ago. He added, "We're likely to see more increases than decreases in the coming weeks." There will be a new vendor at the River Life concession stand. The Wausau Parks and Recreation Committee selected Sawmill Adventure Park to operate the stand, and they plan to turn the stand back into an ice cream shop and rename the building. The park's primary location is in Rothschild, and taking on the concession stand will offer more shifts for employees. Local nonprofits will also be able to register at the concession stand for a support code that would generate a 5% donation every quarter or month to the charity. The Wausau City Council still needs to approve the vendor, and if approved, Sawmill Adventure Park would need to have the concession stand operational by May. I'm Isabella Nieto for WXCO News.
So, how are the kids?
Well, Emily made the honor roll.
Oh, good for her.
Yeah, we're really proud of her. Tyler, on the other hand, though.
What's going on?
He's been moody lately, just feeling down and not like himself.
Oh, we've been there. Nick was struggling last spring. He was so anxious and stressed.
Really? What helped?
Well, he joined the soccer team. And ever since, he's been a lot happier. He has more energy, he's less stressed, and he's definitely in a better mood at home. It's made a huge difference.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm glad he's getting out of the house, he's getting some exercise, and he's off his phone for once. It's been good for his mental health.
Sounds like it's been good for your mental health, too.
Participating in Wisconsin high school sports improves students' physical and mental health. Encourage your son or daughter to get involved. This message presented by the WIAA and the Wisconsin Athletic Directors Association.
Sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I don't know. I just don't know what to feel. Sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I don't know what to feel. Everything I thought that I knew starts to look so unreal. There's a ringing in my head that keeps me awake at night. Sometimes I don't know what is right. Today I saw a car cross my little dog under its wheel.
Chat and Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO. Real quickly before I get back to the article, I'm talking about moderation or not to be moderate when it comes to the Democratic Party and winning elections. I'll go back to what happened this past weekend in Red Mountain, where there were upwards of 500 folks gathering as part of a nationwide demonstration on ICE. And when you see all the people that have been going out for these protests over the last number of months, they're not going out there begging the Democrats to be more moderate.
No, they are not.
So it's a case where the class, the consultant class, I guess I call it, keeps saying, got to be more moderate, got to be more moderate. And Craig Calcaterra, who he just puts it out there the way it is. And he put down a line that I'm going to steal again.
Okay.
But I'm going to give him total credit for it and I would say if you want, again, some real insight, I would subscribe to his newsletter. He goes, as in political moderation and the belief largely held by Democratic leadership that fighting fascism with everything they got is not prudent. Because, hey, some polls suggest people might not care for such things. And he puts it in a way that's like, oh, it's not prudent. That's the way that Chuck Schumer looks at it. Oh, we gotta moderate ICE, not eliminate it. I saw yesterday. That's what he was saying. It's like, no, end it. End DHS.
It's not helping anyone.
And there's a term which I had not heard before.
Okay.
Calcaterra says this approach is referred to as popularism. Popularism. That
basically just doing whatever's popular.
That basically absolves political figures of having to actually lead or help shape public opinion, while demanding that they slavishly follow the polls. Say nothing too bold and hope that political victory comes by default. And that is Chuck Schumer in a nutshell.
That's ridiculous.
That's what makes me so frustrated with Chuck Schumer, because he looks at the polls that say Donald Trump right now is well underwater. And that is true. Donald Trump's popularity is not very good right now.
It's plummeting.
But Donald Trump has never been very popular.
Well, no.
Donald Trump has never been a, quote, popular figure. He's been popular with a very narrow focus of his supporters. But in the general look at the polls, going back to his first term, he was never an overly popular person.
No.
And yet he was able to win a lot of votes, even when he lost in 2020. And then he won in 2024. This idea that just hoping that Donald Trump is unpopular enough that you don't have to lead is the whole Chuck Schumer philosophy.
Yeah.
The aim for the median voter is what they talk about. And that strategy has not been effective for the Democratic Party. And this idea that we just got to find moderation. And Calcaterra points out a paragraph in the article. And again, the article is at bostonreview.net. And again, it's, I think, a very worthwhile read if you have the opportunity. Well, one of the lines was, history won't judge Democrats on whether they were moderate enough. It will judge them on whether they fought hard enough and smart enough when democracy was threatened. The politics of careful positioning and poll-tested moderation have been tested, and on their own, they have failed to deliver the victories needed to protect democracy. The choice now is to transform the party's strategy to meet the scale of the threat, or to fail. In this contest, failure is not just an electoral defeat. It may be the end of democratic self-governance. And that's why when you see Chuck Schumer not fighting hard enough, when you see Hakeem Jeffries not fighting hard enough, I would say even at times I don't see Tammy Baldwin fighting hard enough. It's because, not because we're going to lose an election. It's because we're going to lose democracy, because that's what Donald Trump and the MAGAs are trying to do.
Yeah.
You can't play for a draw. You can't just say, well, a draw is better than a loss. No.
Especially not with everything going on right now. A draw is basically, well, first of all, it's not putting on much of a fight for one thing. It's basically just trying to compromise, and there is no compromising with this situation right now, because if Democrats don't have the backbone to actually stand up for all the injustice that's happening right now and actually take a stand against everything that's happening right now, the Democrats are basically going to look like a bunch of pushovers, and nobody's going to respect them anymore, because they didn't, we can't respect someone who doesn't fight for their people. Right now, the Democratic leadership is basically just, trying to find a good analogy here. But they're basically just trying to keep a track of the situation, and basically like, okay, so he's getting more unpopular and more popular. Okay, we keep waiting around. This time, it's all going to stop. He's going to be out of office. The whole situation is going to. You can't wait for change. You have to make change. You have to fight for it. You can't just wait around for this whole thing to blow over like a straw house.
Another thing that happened yesterday that Calcaterra pointed out, and again, I'd seen this as well. Other people talking about it. The Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, responded to a question about why ICE and Border Patrol do not obtain judicial warrants, which are, by the way, required by the Fourth Amendment to the Constitution of the United States of America.
Mm-hmm.
That amendment says that before entering your home to arrest them, that warrants are needed.
And what did he say?
Mike Johnson said this: imagine if we have to go through the process of getting a judicial warrant, an additional warrant, to go and apprehend people who we know are here illegally. How much time would that take? We don't have enough judges. We don't have enough time. It would take decades probably to do that. The people who are advocating for that don't want any immigration enforcement. That is not the question. That is not the point.
It's just making up
That is,
excuses. You don't know what it'll take decades.
but it doesn't matter. It does not matter.
No, it doesn't.
The Fourth Amendment to the Constitution of the United States says a warrant is needed.
Mm-hmm.
Just because Mike Johnson and ICE knows there's someone illegal in there does not allow them to break in without a warrant. That, again, is what Donald Trump is trying to do here. And that, again, is an impeachable offense.
Yes, it is.
And Calcaterra made a good point. He says, it would seem that no one asked Johnson the obvious follow-up question, which is, if Trump's immigration enforcement ambitions are, in your view, incompatible with the law, why is it that the law should be cast aside as opposed to Trump's ambitions? What a point. What a point.
That's an excellent point.
Republicans will toss aside the law every time rather than Donald Trump's ambitions. That shows how broken right now the Republican Party is in Washington, D.C., and I would say here in Wisconsin and here in central Wisconsin as well.
So they care more about the ambitions of a man who has no idea what he's doing than the actual law itself.
Than the Constitution itself that they say they're trying to protect and uphold.
That is hypocrisy at its finest.
Exactly. So again, this is what that again is another example. Going back to the original point of this conversation is why moderation is not going to work.
No.
I mean, what is further away from moderation than what Mike Johnson and ICE are doing? Ignoring the Fourth Amendment. So again, check out the article at bostonreview.net. And if you have not already subscribed to Craig Calcaterra. It's a great way to start your day.
He makes some excellent points. We should try to get him on our show.
That is a good idea. I think that is a very good idea.
I'm sure we could have some great conversations.
There you go. We need to take a final time out. And we will have our daily history lesson. And we will have our number for the day quiz.
Yes.
We will talk about some folks who are celebrating their birthday today. I will preview the rest of the day here on WXCO, including tonight from 6 till 8 p.m. So we're going to finish things off with a nice high.
Absolutely.
So we'll take this time out. Can you feel it? Yes, we can. Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO.
Look around, the whole world's coming together now. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Can you feel it?
On Thursday night, the Wausau West hockey team plays host to DC Everest in a Wisconsin Valley Conference matchup. Hear all the exciting action live on 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO, and on the Civic Media app, starting with the pregame show at 6:35 and the opening face-off at 7 p.m. Wausau West Hockey on 98.9 WXCO is brought to you by Sun Printing, the Wausau West Athletic Department, Clover Belt Credit Union, sponsor of the Clover Belt Credit Union broadcast booth, Rocket Industrial, and the Wausau Business Show, the Wausau Cyclones, the Wausau West Hockey Booster Club, Four Seasons Golf of Wausau, Mike Whitmore Construction, and Operating Engineers Local 139, our ultimate sports sponsor. It's Wausau West against DC Everest in Wisconsin Valley Conference Hockey. Thursday night, starting with the pregame show at 6:35 on 98.9 WXCO, WXCO.FM, mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO, and on the Civic Media app.
Local radio thrives when it serves the community. WXCO is no different, and we're looking to add someone to our staff that is well connected around town. Someone who can help our local businesses increase traffic and their visibility among our audience. From connecting clients with high school sports, local news and weather, or the Chad Holmes Show. If you know local business owners, we'd like to get to know you. If you'd like to know more about this opportunity, send me, Chad Holmes, a message at chad.holmes@civicmedia.us. That's chad.holmes@civicmedia.us. And let's set up a time to talk.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Wisconsin. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the WIAA and the Wisconsin Athletic Directors Association.
And welcome back. It is the Chad Holmes Show. With Ian Welsh, I am the aforementioned Chad Holmes. Today is the 4th day of February of 2026. A few famous folks are celebrating their birthdays today. Singer Natalie Imbruglia turns 51 years old today. Singer Clint Black is 64 years old today. Rocker Alice Cooper turns 78 years old today.
What a legend.
Singer Florence LaRue of the Fifth Dimension, 84 years old today. Singer Tim Booth of James is 66. Actor Gabrielle Anwar is 56 years old today. Former Daily Show correspondent and actor Rob Corddry is 55. TV personality Nicole Wallace. She is a host on MS Now. 54 years old today. Singer Gavin DeGraw is 49 years old today. Actor Charlie Barnett of Chicago Fire is 38 years old today. And those who have passed away, who were born on February the 4th, include Charles Lindbergh, aviator.
Yeah.
I read a biography on Lindbergh. The man was probably the biggest hero this country's ever known.
He was
when he made the transatlantic flight. Then became a member of the America First movement that tried to keep the country out of World War II. And then in the biography, it came basically true that he was a Nazi sympathizer. He had a secret family in Germany because he wanted to have the perfect bloodline. I mean, just craziness. But Charles Lindbergh was born on this date in history.
I did not know that, actually.
Director George Romero, and also Rosa Parks. Rosa Parks, one of the heroes of American history, because she would not sit at the back of the bus.
Yeah.
All right. Well, some famous events that occurred on this date in history. On this date in 2012, Florence Green, the last surviving veteran of World War I, died at the age of 110.
Wow. What a long life.
I don't know if this was a good thing to happen or not a good thing to happen.
What is it?
22 years ago today, 2004, the website Facebook was founded and launched by Harvard students Mark Zuckerberg, Eduardo Saverin, Dustin Moskowitz, and Chris Hughes as thefacebook.com. The platform will later become the largest social network in the world.
Yeah, it's definitely
Mixed
definitely
bag.
come a long way since then, and not always for the best.
Nope.
It's
And
definitely
Zuckerberg
had a lot
is-
of controversy, a lot of questionable actions it's taken over the years.
And Zuckerberg now kneeling at the altar of Trump. On this date in 1974, Patty Hearst, heiress of the William Randolph Hearst newspaper empire, was kidnapped by members of the Symbionese Liberation Army. Hearst was allegedly brainwashed into participating in various organized crimes. On this date in 1945, during the final stages of World War II, the Yalta Conference opened with Franklin D. Roosevelt, Winston Churchill, and Joseph Stalin meeting to plan the final defeat and occupation of Nazi Germany. On this date in 1938, Thornton Wilder's Our Town, a classic portrayal of small-town American life, made its Broadway debut. On this date in 1932, the United States hosted its first Winter Olympic Games in Lake Placid, New York. Only 17 countries attended those games, and the organizers suffered huge financial losses.
Ouch.
Yep. And on this date in 1789, George Washington, who was elected to serve as the first U.S. president by a unanimous vote in the first electoral college. You know George Washington? He's the guy that Donald Trump says is a worse president than Donald Trump. I laugh. I laugh. All right, it's time for our number for the day quiz.
Okay.
You are 1 for 2 so far this week.
Yep.
Mentioned,
a good place. I can do better.
Mentioned today is the anniversary of the birth of Rosa Parks.
That's right.
And she was the woman who went on the bus, was told to sit at the back of the bus, and said, nope, I'm not going to do that. And that led to the the Montgomery bus boycott. The Montgomery bus boycott that was started by Rosa Parks not moving to the back. And your number for the day is,
okay,
how long did the Montgomery bus boycott last?
How long did the bus boycott in Montgomery last?
Your choices are,
okay,
281 days, 381 days, 481 days.
How long?
The Montgomery bus boycott, which ultimately led to the desegregation of the city buses, last.
281, 381, or 481 days. Okay, I'm going to say... Okay, a final answer. I'm going to say 381 days. A final answer, I'm going with 381.
The Montgomery bus boycott, which began on December the 5th of 1955, ended on December the 20th of 1956. So it lasted 381 days.
Nice.
2 out of 3.
Oh, yeah, it's already a passing week.
Already
so
a passing week. So we'll try to make it 3 out of 4 tomorrow.
Very good.
Have a good rest of your day.
You too, Chad. Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Tomorrow morning, we'll be joined in studio by Nancy Stencil. We'll talk about that big protest that occurred last week and other political news as well. So join us starting at 8:06 tomorrow morning, right on 98.9 WXCO and online. And also, don't forget tonight from 6 till 8, it is the Big High School Sports Show on 98.9 WXCO. So until tomorrow morning, that's Ian Welsh. I'm Chad Holmes. Thanks for joining us. Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO.